Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to technical session 1B. I am Riddhi Goel, moderator of this session. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and Knowledge Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it is my great pleasure to welcome in 7th International Conference on ICT for Sustainable Development through Zoom. We hope you will enjoy this knowledgeable and interactive session through the day. There is a special note for the presenter. You will be given 8 minutes for your presentation and 2 minutes for question answer. So please be stick to the time limit. On 7 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder to conclude your presentation. And another request to all participants, please stay connected with us until the closing remarks. Okay, before we get started, I would like to invite our session chair, the Professor Narendra Londe. Hello, sir. Welcome you in this session. It is our great pleasure to you here, sir.
Thank you, Riddhi.
Okay, sir.
All the participants to this session.
Yeah, sir. I would like to introduce. I would like to sorry. Professor Narendra Londe sir is presently working as an associate professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering of National Institute of Technology, Raipur. He has started 14 years of rich experience of academics and research. He has published more than 150 articles in recognized journal, conferences, and books. His main area of research include medical signals, image processing, biomedical instrumentation, speech signal processing, biometrics, intelligent healthcare, brain-computer interface, and artificial intelligence and pattern recognition. So, sir, we can start our presenter with your concern.
Yes, Riddhi, you can start the session.
Yeah, I would like to invite our first presenter, the Aditya Saini, and his paper title is on handwriting recognition and conversation using neural networks.
I'll start sharing my screen.
Yeah, please start, sir.
Hope it's visible.
Yes, it is visible, sir. You can start.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Aditya Saini, and I'll be presenting my research regarding handwriting recognition and conversion using neural network. So the problem, a main goal is to create a network which aid in recognition and creation of handwriting. The problem and real world scenario where a research can be used is institutes, for example. Every student has different quality of handwriting. Some have clearer and some don't write in much clear manner. So research can be introduced in institutes to help teachers and associates to convert the handwriting to a much better readable format. And the second is where our research can be used is as a module for forms where user have to print and write it down offline and then scan and then send it. Instead, they can input our research into their application, which will help users to write handwritten text in the application itself. The objective of our research is recognition of handwriting and its conversion to text and generation of handwriting text with near human quality. So the challenges we have are handwriting conversion to text. So first we recognize the input image from the user and we convert it to a text like a Times New Roman text. The second challenge is conversion of text to handwriting. So basically we take text input from the user and give a image document as an output, which has a handwritten conversion of text to handwriting. And the third challenge is handwriting to handwriting conversion. Using the both previous two models, we can convert handwriting to handwriting. So the first solution is handwriting to text conversion. So for all these challenges, for all the solution, we are using neural network as a architecture. For the handwriting to text conversion, we had three layers architecture. Initial input is passed through 5 CNN layers, where feature extraction and downsizing of the image is done, and it is passed to the next layer, which is an RNN layer. RNN layer is implemented using the popular LSTM. Since LSTM is used, since it is more robust and has a more training characteristics. CTC's layer is used to calculate the loss value and decode the output from the RNN. And we have 5 CNN layers, 2 RNN layer, and 1 CTC layers. The second solution we are implementing is text to handwriting conversion. So whenever, let's say this solution is also implemented using RNNs, and the implementation is RNN as in LSTMs. So for example, we are using IM dataset throughout the research. So in IM datasets, we have set of images which has a handwriting, and what we do is we train this RNN model using those datasets. So for each handwriting, we save a coordinate because we want to generate a handwriting. So each these coordinates are saved into an array in an array format, and we like these coordinates are used because it shows where the hand starts. Hands as in the black part of the hand. Like for example, whenever we write, we start from particular arc and then end to a particular arc. So we have 10 characters for using this run and lips. And the third solution is handwriting to handwriting. Using the previous two models, we can convert handwriting to text and text to handwriting. Since both those models are lightweight architecture, we can use both simultaneously and achieve a handwriting to handwriting conversion. Literature review. These are some of the papers used we referred. This paper gave us an idea about techniques, tool usage, pre-processing part. For example, first this gave us a technique called back propagation through time training can be used to increase the accuracy of recognition process. We use the back propagation to increase our accuracy. We combine both CNN and LSTMs, and we even use the GPUs to train our models. And that's these are the literature review implementation. The research has a research code. We have implemented a research using Python as a primary language, and Django web application is used as a user interface. It can also be deployed as an API endpoint, but we have used it as an user interface. And for the machine learning model deployment, we are using TensorFlow package as the base. This is an landing page of our application. The first card shows that the user needs to input image, a handwritten image, and after submitting, they will get a text output. In the second card, they need to input the text and they can get a handwritten output. And in the third card, they need to input a handwritten document and they can get a more clearer handwritten document as an output. And this is the implementation part where the output of the model is given. On the left side of the left images are basically input and the right side is the output of the model. This is the second model output. Our model can generate 9 different set of handwritings using different biases. Biases stands for basically how much we want our handwriting to match the human qualities. We can decrease it or increase it as we want. These are the 9 different handwritings our model can generate. Future scope of our model is basically they can increase more accuracy and scan full page of handwritten document. Right now, we are limited to 128 by 32 image size, and they can increase it to a full page or maybe a dynamic page range. And the conclusion, we can conclude that we have achieved neural network models for generation and recognition of handwriting. Throughout the research, we have used IAM handwriting online data set, and these are some of the research papers we have referenced. Thank you. be open for.
Thank you, Aditya.
Yeah.
Aditya,
Yes.
regarding your choice of CNN, RNN, and in that also LSTM. Okay.
Yes.
Generally, what happens, the justification of choice of your this networks is really important. I
Yes.
want to ask you that just brief me exactly for what purpose you use CNN, for what purpose you use LSTM.
Okay, so the CNN part is used for feature extraction. Feature extraction, as in our image has different qualities. We want a specific quality from our image. For example, a hand image is given to our model. We only want a black, black with a black pen or a blue pen written with a ball pen or something. We want only that part from our image. So that is the feature extraction, and then we get a matrix. We pass this matrix to RNN, and what RNN does is RNN further processes this. For example, LSTM, what it does is why we use LSTM is we want data to be stored for the dynamic period. We don't want only a character and then we can move on. We want a sentence, a word from an image. Hence, we are using LSTM, and CTC helps in decoding those metrics to the characters again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The next candidate.
Yes, sir. Sure. Our next presenter is Ritika Dhaneshwar, and her paper title is Synthetically Generated High Resolution Reflected Ultraviolet Imaging System Database Using Generative Advisor Network.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll just present my work that is on synthetically generated high resolution reflected ultraviolet imaging system database using generative adversarial networks. So these are the table of contents that I'm going to cover in this presentation. So starting with what are basically latent fingerprints. These are basically chance impressions that are left at crime scenes, which are used by law enforcement agencies for conviction of a criminal. So their pre-processing and enhancement reconstruction steps become very important so as to get good matching results. These are some of the existing approaches which have tried to generate a synthetic data using various GANs. As you all know that there are various flavors of GANs that are present today in the research community, which are being used for various types of applications. So these are some of the brief description of some of the existing approaches which have been till now used for generating synthetic data sets. So you can see from the table that the most common GANs that are used are IV GANs, DC GANs, super resolution GANs, etc. So drawback of the approaches are they are mostly focused on features, level 1 features of fingerprints. I'll just give a brief introduction.
Hello,
These
interruption,
are
ma'am.
basically
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir, ma'am, your voice is so breaking. Please check it.
Okay. Is it now good?
Yeah, it is good, but between your presentation, it's so breaking. Now it is good. Please go on.
Okay. So some of the drawbacks of the existing approaches were that they focused only on level 1 and level 2 features, whereas the level 3 features that are the core level details of a fingerprint are very much needed to get a very good and matching performance of an algorithm. So one of the major drawbacks of the existing approaches was that only they have focused only till level 2 features. The second drawback was that the variant of the GAN that are used till now for fingerprint generation do not take into account the texture level details of an image. However, in case of fingerprint, we can very well imagine that how important the textures of an image for matching is important for us. Thirdly, the quality of the generated samples were less than 1000 ppi. And lastly, initially, as you all know that GANs need a very large input data set for generating good quality fingerprints. So this was a major drawback that initial large data sets are not at all publicly available for fingerprint generation. So to overcome these existing drawbacks, we have proposed some approach to generate synthetic fingerprints which are of very high quality with poor level detail. So why we basically need synthetic fingerprints? First of all, it is the privacy issue. Second is that expensive equipment that are required for fingerprint upliftment. Thirdly, the large amount of data set that is required for training and testing that we all know we all have to use for our deep learning approaches. Thirdly, is that the manual collection of large sample is a time-consuming process. So these are the basic needs why we have to generate synthetic fingerprint data sets. So this is the method. This is the methodology that we have proposed. This is a block diagram of static architecture. Then we have used basically the augmentations of the initial fingerprints so as to prevent the overfitting problem of the discriminator, which is very common. Secondly, it helps us to overcome the problem of large data set that a GAN requires for pre-training processes. So augmentation helps us in generating synthetic data sets from limited data also. So this is the basic block diagram of our methodology. So the real sample, that is the test training samples that we have used have been collected using an equipment called UVIS, which works on the principle of reflection of UV light. So through this equipment, we are able to capture samples which are of greater than 1000 ppi quality, and we are able to get the core level details also from the samples. So these are some of the training dataset samples that we have used for training purpose of our model. So through the yellow marks, you can see the core level details that are also visible in these samples. So in this, we have used the area of standard. So the basic reason of using this area architecture is to get better resolution results and prevent the problem of overfitting of a discriminator. Moreover, this flavor of the GAN, it helps in generating realistic looking images which maintain the texture level details of the image also. So in this, we have performed augmentations like flipping, rotation, scaling of the image. This helps in, these are some of the augmentations that we have used to prevent the overfitting of our discriminator. So these through this the fingerprint has been displaced from its position as it is depicted in the three figures. So to maintain the resolution of our model, we have used the approach of transfer learning also. In this, we have used FFHQ 1024 model to basically use the concept of transfer learning.
Hello, Ritika. Sorry for the interruption, but you have only 2 minutes for your presentation. So kindly to the please time limit.
So these are the screenshots of how the transfer learning of the model took place. So coming on to the evaluation, how we have evaluated, basically we have taken two matrices, that is quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis. In qualitative analysis, basically visual analysis of the output was done. In this, basically we have compared the input data set with the generated data set visually, and we have inspected level details have been maintained in our generated images. Secondly, we have used for our diversity analysis multi-scale so this matrix was chosen because it helps in getting more detailed level textual details of the image. So these are the experiments. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ritika. So, yes, sir, please. Sir, I think you are mute. Yes.
Ritika, thank you. It's a nice work that you have done. I have one thing to ask you, that you see you have used GAN network also. You also have used transfer learning. Okay, so this increases the computational cost. So have you measured the computational cost of this work?
Yes, sir. The computational cost is more, but my primary focus in this study was to make a good data set which can be used for deep learning approach. Currently,
Okay.
for this experiment, I have used Google Colab Pro for processing my images.
Okay. How much was the data set, data size?
The initial full fingerprint data set was of 371 images, which were collected from 21 people. And then this full fingerprint images were divided into 6 parts, as it is a common practice in fingerprinting.
No, that I understood. What I feel, Ritika, it is the general understanding about the deep learning is that if you want to if you want to receive a better performance from the deep networks, it is really important that you increase your data size. Okay, it should be around 5,000, 6,000, something like that. Then only whatever the performance that you are expecting from your network, it will be able to deliver. And next thing is that when you will increase the data size, again your system configuration will become a problem. Okay, so just if you want to further if you are extending this study further, you have to look for two things. First, increase of the data size. Second, high power machines. Okay, so that is what I feel to tell you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Riddhi, next can we please?
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you, Ritika. Our next presenter is Neha A. Samsir, and her paper title is on Understanding and Comparative Analysis of Co-Sequence Algorithms. Yes,
Okay, good morning. Good afternoon, all of you. Just wait a minute, I am sharing my presentation. Okay, my agenda of this paper: explore the different introduction of blockchain technology, working of blockchain, consensus algorithm, working algorithm of different consensus, comparison of different consensus algorithm, conclusion, and the references. Blockchain technology. Let us understand about what is the blockchain technology. My paper elaborates the blockchain is a method of recording information that make it impossible or difficult for the system to be changed or hacked and manipulated. Blockchain technology is a structure that stores the transaction record in the form of block. Blockchain technology is basically working on the three features, that is decentralization, immutability, and transparency. Decentralized means no central authority for distributed nodes. All decision and control maintained by the distributed nodes. Transparency indicates anyone can join the network and all node in the network can access the data. Immutability means once the data is stored into the blockchain, then the data is unaltered and unchanged. There are the three types of blockchains: public blockchain, private blockchain, and then consortium blockchain. Public blockchain can be also known as permission and blockchain, and this is public access or to all. all the users of the in the blockchain. Private blockchain means the permission blockchain and accessed by the authorized person. Consortium blockchain, which is the combination of the public blockchain and the private blockchain, which include many institutions where the authentication of done by the particular organizations, where the financial sectors are using the consortium blockchains. Next, the working of the blockchain. Working of the blockchain is let us discuss the working of the blockchain. All data is the stored in the blockchain in the format of block, and the all blocks are chronologically connected to each other. Blockchain can working on the this working fields. This is transaction definition, transaction authentication, block creation, blockchaining, block validation, and blockchaining. In transaction definition, initially the transaction is created by the sender, and sender has the receiver public address information and cryptographic digital signature. A digital signature verifies the credibility and validity of the transaction. Transaction authentication means it can be authenticate by the particular the authenticate user. Block creation state, in the block creation state, it checks the pending transaction first. First, if a pending transaction is used by the another node in the network, then it will be updated by the block to the ledger, and the updated block is shown to the nodes. Okay, then blockchaining, and then the one is let us understand. My paper motto is a consensus algorithm. To overcome the double spending and the Byzantine general problems, blockchain is required. Consensus algorithm is a kind of distributed system or process agreement that is based on the single data value. All parties in blockchain are working based on the common agreement that is present in the data in ledger. There are the different types of consensus algorithms. All parties are working on the common agreement in present. Okay, consensus algorithms are essential because the main it maintains the data integrity and security of the data. Few common algorithms are using in blockchain, that is a proof of work, proof of stake, PBFT, DPoS, and tendermint. Let us discuss in detail how this algorithm shows how the proof of work can be working. First of all, start, then user request to the server to add a new block in the blockchain. Server generates the mathematical puzzle. Server automatically generating the mathematical puzzle, which is known as a hash number. If hash number greater than is equal to target value, then what is the target value? Target value is a number that is a greater than or equal to hash block header. It is generated by the a machine server. Okay, that if hash number greater than target value, then proof of work achieved, else increase the nonce value. Then first of all, what is the nonce value? Nonce value is an abbreviation number that is added to the hash or encrypted block use only. We can use the nonce value only once. If proof of work achieved, then the new block added to the blockchain. Else block is cancelled. Block is added. Then the reward are given to the miner and stop. Next, proof of stake. A user request to the in the proof of stake, a selection of the approving node is known as proof of stake, and it is determined by the stake each node in the blockchain. It is a more energy efficient as compared to the proof of stake, and it is more decentralized compared to proof of work. Then let us understand the algorithm process of the proof of stake. First of all, start. Validator stake some amount of money in particular transaction. Staking means one type of bidding, which a validator can bid more than the process further going to the specific validator. According to the stake validator selected, then validator creates the block transaction. If block is valid, then block is added to the blockchain, else the reward and stake amount not given to the validator. Next, validator receive the reward and then stop. Next, let us understand PBFT. Each procedure in the PBFT broken down into three phases: pre-prepared, prepared, and commit. Let us understand the algorithm flow of the PBFT. First of all, start. All available nodes in the network are the sequentially ordered according to their duties. One node is set a master server node in a round robin manner. The first client request to the master server node. Master server nodes invoke the service operation. Then the master server node broadcast the replicas to the another nodes which is remaining in all the in the blockchain. Then the replicas execute the request. If the majority of the node accept the request, it will be entered to the commit state. Commit state means the process are ending soon, else invalid the block. Each node in the net commit state send the commit message to other nodes. Master server nodes replies the client for the success, then stop. PBFT. Let us understand now. Let us explain DPoS, which means it's a dedicated proof of stake, which is a one type of proof of stake. Then let us understand. Start voting for selecting witness panel. Every nodes in the network can be done by the voting and allocate the numbers to the different nodes. If ni means number of votes, hash then previous block header comma nonce value. If hash as previous block greater than the difficulty, less than is equal to difficulty, then else increase the nonce value. Then system broadcast to the consensus nodes. Token allocate a vote for the witness. Perform quick shot. Then a number of witnesses nodes allocate number of consensus nodes allocate to the number of witnesses node, and then number of the candidates nodes are allocates to. If token less than is equals to number of candidate node, then set higher voting weight, else voting weight is low. Node with the higher votes validate the transaction, get the reward, then stop. Let us understand next. Tender mean. Tendermint is solve the proof of work to solve the problem of the speed, scalability, and the environmental issue, which are Tendermint are faster than all of the other consensus algorithms. First of all, start propose the new. If the system proposes a new block, if a proposed block is valid, then go to the step 4. Else go to the pre-voted stage. Proposed block goes to the pre-commit mode. Wait for the pre-votes from the two-third part. If pre-commit is found, then go to the commit state as create new height of block. New height of block can be created. Wait until commit time plus delta are achieved. Get block in commit state, save and stage block, then broadcast the commit, and then get the commit statement and commit type and stop. This all are the this table shows the comparison of the different consensus algorithms based on the various features. Let's conclude the paper. Blockchain technology trending in the market, and different sectors sectors are adopting blockchain technology. This paper explains few consensus algorithms in detail and examines how the requirements of the consensus algorithms in blockchain technology. Proof of work and proof of stake are higher scalability as compared to other consensus algorithms, where the DPoS and PBFT are the performance-wise faster, much faster than compared to the another consensus algorithms. Then proof of work consumes high energy. Tendermint consumes the least energy. Tendermint is the best performance. Last take least consumes the least energy. These are the references of my paper. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Neha.
Yes, sir.
Regarding use of blockchain,
Yes.
I want you to brief us the basics. Say that how do I decide on an application where I can use blockchain?
Sir, actually, I am also pursuing PhD in the blockchain technology in healthcare sector. Because my idea is behind that I am using the blockchain technology in a healthcare sector, using to maintain the patient data, patient history throughout the blockchain. Then the data is it cannot be altered and it can be a store for the lifetime. That there are the many applications areas are available, but I am giving the example related to healthcare sector.
Yes, fine. What I feel that the implementation of this technology for such a need, if say that I have some secure data, say some government data is there, which is need to be very secured. In that cases, the blockchain is good enough. But regarding patients' data and everything, the hospitals or the medical institutions may not like to go for that technology, because that is not much a problem to them at present. Okay, but the cost involved into this may go high. Am I? Can you comment on this?
Yeah, sir, but I am trying to settle out my whole idea throughout the blockchain, because everyone doesn't know. In India, there is no such idea about the technology as much as of now. But right now, people are investing in blockchain technology because that is more decentralized and secure. If one node is failure, then no one, though all the system does not make to the failure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Neha.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you so much.
Okay, next presenter, please.
Yeah, sure, sir. So our next presenter is Devesh Chaudhary, and his paper title is Translated, Android-based mobile application for multilingual translation. So I think he is absent. So we can move our next presenter. Our next presenter is Ravi Shankar Jha, and his paper title is Technologies Shaping Model of Personalization in Insurance.
Okay. I shall be presenting on his behalf. I'm the co-author.
Okay.
I believe my presentation is visible to you.
Yes, it is visible, sir. Can you please full screen, sir?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Yes.
So this is not an empirical paper. Let me give you the clarity. So this is a fundamental research paper, more apt for a book chapter. So here we try to look at, we are professionals, we are working in the insurance sector. My co-author, Mr. Ravi Shankar Jha, he works for Infosys, and he is working in the vertical of insurance, global vertical, and I am a faculty in School of Management. So we try to research what is the current development and recent development. So in this, we found that different aspects are touched upon by this personalization of insurance. Say, for example, enhance of operational efficiency, digital revolutions are changing the business environment and all. So if you look at the digital revolutions, the big data analytics, IoT, ML, all these are influencing. And we try to find some of the aspects even insurance are very personalized. Say, for example, people are buying cryptocurrency. For that safety also there are insurance. For flight delay there are insurance available, and very, very personalized, and insurance companies also are opting the options of like using drone to map or scape a particular land and all. So these are the emerging models of personalization of insurance. Very personalized, it's not a fixed kind of insurance. The technology adoption, so we can adopt, we can have, and we are having. In fact, some of the advanced countries, they have already started using, and India is yet to catch up in a big way. But in some time, it will be taking more safe and all. So, for example, people go for a vehicle insurance for a year. But the trend is changing that as you drive, your insurance meter is on and you pay more, or you go for or in the based on the past data last several years your use, you can predict and you can decide a price for you, and you can go for a different insurer for a day or for a kind of risk and all. So that's and insurance companies also are using the underwriters or claim processing and all for the technology.
So I think just add to what Sir has told. I think the trend is changing. Okay, sorry, sir, I was a little late.
Please continue.
Okay, so it's primarily pay as you go. Like typically, what happens is like typically in Western market. Okay, so based on your driving behavior, based on your usage, you have to pay insurance. Unlike in India, where still we are living in a traditional world where we have to buy an annual policy. So this is again becoming very personalized. Like we go and shop it. On-demand insurance, it's like on a need basis. For example, I don't need a home insurance. If I go for a vacation, I book a Airbnb room. Okay, I just need an not a traditional home insurance. I buy an insurance which cover the home and the property within the home. So that kind of on-demand insurance are coming in. The durations are not fixated. Earlier it is used to be point in time. Now it is changing. It is becoming dynamic, so which is on-demand insurance. Subscription basis, typically, if you look at conventional policies, okay, which goes for 6 months or a year time frame. Now people are keen. Look at millennium generation and the new generation which are coming in. They are more keen about doing things for a certain period, and they say, for example, can I take a policy for 15 days? Can I take a travel plan for 10 days? I don't need entire premium to be paid for the entire year, even though I don't use it. So now they are going on a subscription based. So if you look at by and large, in a nutshell, the way the things are, this all will happen on the, if you look at the backbone is technology. Without technology, none of this model would have been evolved or achieved as we speak. Okay, and underlying technology, and not a single country in the world is away from digital disruption. Okay, we have this disruptive technologies is knocking every look and corner of it. Okay, and as a result of it, every single day we are moving towards more of a personalized offering to appeal to this generation. Okay, because end of the day we have to deal with this new digital generation which is coming towards. Can we move to the next slide? So this slide, try to converge between two things: trend and the trinity. Okay, it's like, and if you look at the trends, the business models are changing. The older way of doing business has been taken a backseat now. The newer ways of working. Think about in COVID, even for everything has taken a different way, and COVID has pushed any insurance company across the world to change the model. Technology is one of the enabler, and regulations are also changing. Look at cryptocurrency. Few years back, nobody would have think that it is becoming legalized. Now it is getting legalized everywhere. So regulation is also changing. And if you look at insurance company, these are the four things that is very, very important. One is personalizing the product. It's not that you dumped on it. There's a push and pull thing, right? So it's no more a push, it's a pull now. Customer experience is another important aspect. Okay, until you don't bring the experience, nobody's going to buy the products or services you have it. Better return on investment, and the last is how do we reduce the cost. So with this trinity coming in, where risk, efficiency, and speed, we are trying to converge so that we make insurance companies to achieve this four agenda that they have, or these four things that they want to match it across their entire value chain of it. Next slide. So in conclusion, if you look at it, just to summarize it, if you look at any insurance company, be it MetLife, be it Zurich, be it AIG, be it OnState, everybody is embracing technology, because that is now need of the hour. It's not that it's like you want to. It's become a compulsion now. Second thing, the models are changing. Okay, and the consumer buying behaviors are changing. The risk natures are changing. So as a result of all of this, this whole industry, insurance industry ecosystem is changing. And everybody is trying to cater more and more towards a personalized product. Otherwise, what will happen is, think about a situation, okay, wherein if you continue to sell the conventional product, you are no more relevant in the market, because if you have to be sustainable, you have to cover the regulation part of it. You have to cover the technology part of it. At the same time, you have to equally pay focus on how do you make the model appealing so that it take the conclusion of both the aspects of it together. So that's not nutshell. This is what the conclusion we wanted to draw in this slide. So that's pretty much we have it. So any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jha. This was the topic, something which is related to everyone, because everybody is at present time, everyone is having some sort of insurance with him, whether it is a vehicle insurance or maybe personal insurance, life insurance, okay, home insurance. What the models that being explored or being discussed by you in this presentation, okay, they are, is there any possibility, Mr. Jha, that some types of insurances can be merged? Say that I have say my home insurance is there, another insurance, I have a vehicle insurance. So is there any possibility that these insurances can be merged? Say that if I'm having the home insurance, okay, that can include my vehicle insurance also.
See, it's a very interesting question, sir. So
Yeah.
typically what happens is, okay, these are two big elephant. Okay, if you look at home, because when you buy a home insurance, it actually what it tries to cover your property and the things around the property. But when you buy a vehicle, you have a first party and a third party coverages are there. So what insurance companies are trying to do is that they're trying to diversify their businesses. Okay, someone who is pioneer in home insurance, they started doing the diversification. When I look at MetLife way back, it was primarily being known for life insurance. Over a period, now they went into a non-life insurance or general insurance, and now they started catering everything, including specialty insurance. So in a way, it is yes, it does it, but how we're trying to bring a differentiation is they try to diversify their business. And another thing that I've seen interesting pattern, because I being an industry practitioner, I've worked in Infosys for last 19 years, okay, and being in the insurance domain. So what I've seen is that they're bringing a lot of incentive. For example, if you buy a two-wheeler insurance from an insurance company, you buy a four-wheeler, they give you a multi-vehicle discount. They'll make your claim zero-touch claim. They'll give you a loyalty bonus. Many more things they bring in, bundle it together so that it incentivizes the whole thing, so that the model will appeal you. So that's what they are trying to do.
Right. Because that sort of combinations may help the means the insurer to get more simple and easy, what I will say, way to do the things, because at present the things are so complex. There are so many things involved in each insurance. I have my own life insurance and everything, but sometimes I feel that it needs to be very simple. If they are very complex, there are lot of terms and conditions are involved there.
Great,
So
sir.
that
So
is
just to give you
something
a
which is,
just to give you a very simple example, which is closed in Indian context, LIC. If you look at few years back, LIC always give term insurance product only offline. They never come to online. In order to capture the market, now they started selling most of their plans online, because nobody have time or patience to go back, stop to their agent and do things. Now you can browse it, and now they make it something like they have this personalized videos are there. For example, there will be a bot will come, a smart bot will come, explain, they take some feedback from you, some input questions, and they'll give you a different personalized offering. So it will be very interactive, personalized interactive video for you, and then you pick and choose what you wanted. If you look at 10 years back, this was not there. So I think they are moving slowly in that direction.
right. Thank you, Mr. Jha. Thank you, Dr. Sahu, for attending this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Next presenter, please.
Yes, sir. Sure. So our next presenter is Soham Dhuri, and his paper title is AR/VR based comprehensive framework for virtual convocation. Hello. Yes, you are audible.
A very good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah, very good afternoon.
Title of a paper: ARBR based comprehensive framework for virtual control. And so the major idea of the project was to give a walkthrough or a supportive uh, supplement to the whole ARBR convocation ceremony. The idea was to make a convocation rule which will allow multiple different ceremonies and events conducted virtually so that, for example, during conditions like pandemic or if someone is studying abroad and then they aren't able to actually personally physically attend a ceremony or event, or maybe if we know that companies have inter-countries branches all over the world. So if they want to conduct a ceremony for their employees, like an award ceremony, for example, so the our idea can be used to make a software that will help them to conduct this kind of ceremony. So the major idea actually was to create a convocation ceremony just for the students so that they'll be able to uh, attend the convocation ceremony, because that is the most kind of important thing after completing a graduation. By this, we actually the technology stack software, and for making characters and animation, it's been supported by Blender, Samo, and After Effects, and some of the Unity engine tools provided inside. So the objective was exactly to build a multi-platform application that will help us to conduct the ceremony going on. So it was to the one of the overall workload of the system that would be attending the ceremony online. So uh, efficiency of the system was one of the main big tasks for this application in our project. So how to overcome this and how to manage all the multiple users at the same time. So for this, there are some steps involved in our paper. So one of the literature review that we referred for this was uh, virtual reality issue by K. Miller and B. Bob. In this, we find out the basic idea of how virtual reality actually uh, sends through and is used around in the real environment. So how the aspects are placed around and how we can make a 3D or interactive system for students to interact with each other. The second paper was virtual reality as an education. So in their paper, they have actually uh, written about how you can use virtual reality as a component in education system. So from this, we actually got the idea of making a virtual convocation ceremony in real life. That would be a big breakthrough for attending the ceremony online. Technological stack, as I said, build down the game scenes or the virtual reality scenes around the all. Photoshop and Illustrator were actually used to make the models of the convocation ceremony, like the host around the stage, then chairs and tables that were placed inside. Then After Effect tools were actually used to give the animation characters and audition tool to support the audio system. So the project design basically was like this: the convocation hall somewhat looks like this. Chairs are situated out, and then the characters are moving around. And you can see on the right side, and the 3D model is they're animated, and then this model that we can see it standing, that it moves around when the animation and its presenter name is taken out. The design and the scene, the unity exporting as a per to create a conversation now, and then the 3D model were make on the Blender machine. For implementation, this is a part of a animation that we did for the character. The character a sense of gravity and a sense of touch around them. So, for example, if the character is moving around from its own place location in the convocation ceremony to the stage that is placed around. And so for that, the underground is around to help the characters to get up, crouch, walk around, and then whenever the name of the character is uh, taken around, and the character of the student is supposed to get up and go and collect the qualification certificate. The part that has been displayed on the screen, this is the part basically which helps around the characters to get up on its own and walk around the qualification room and collect the certificate. So there are many different animations that we incorporated in this system, like for example, a handshake animation, then a certificate grabbing animation, then an animation just to bow down to the expected dignitaries around and then walking off to the street. So these kinds of animation are also similarly programmed. Then the main basic idea was to test around this whole program if it is working properly and is carrying around multiple users at the same time. So for this, we started testing the capacity of a software. We deployed the software locally around 15 to 20 devices together, and then this whole program was then conducted virtually as a demo server that college provided us right now. So in this we started to know the flaws, got to know the flaws that were there in the system. So basically the animation was playing differently on different devices. So that we tried to cut down the rendering and time the animation. So by making some changes inside the code and also inside the designing part of the convocation hall, we got basically cut down the tag that was there inside each and every devices that were there inside the convocation. So the result of this was we were able to conduct a virtual ceremony as a demo, and then all of the students were able to attend the demo ceremony, and the characters of their own self with their own faces. They got up from the stage, they was the stage, they collected a certificate powder. Like it was a feeling that life since actually the students are there. So just go and it would be like trying to incorporate virtual reality, and then maybe sure if the aspects of virtual reality are added to it, the students can actually attend the ceremony using a VR headgear or a Oculus, so that it would be a more real life experience to them, like actually if they are feeling like they are walking around the stage and then they're collecting the certificate. So providing and incorporating this system into a virtual reality is a future scope. This kind of system is actually made down by IIT Bombay in 2020, I guess, and they actually made 3D models of the students, and then after each and every student's name was
I think you should conclude now. Please conclude.
Okay. The conclusion is to complete the ceremony, and then the students should be able to attend the ceremony virtually. So, in future step, we are trying to add office events in the ceremony. That would be
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Riddhi, next presenter, please.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation. So our next presenter is Suresh Cornett, and his paper title on performance enhancement of photovoltaic system for rural electrification in higher altitude region, a case study in Uttarakhand, India.
Yes, thank you. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, sir.
Actually, my co-author is also in the meeting room, Dr. Saravanan. Possible for him to give him access to share the screen?
Yeah, it is possible.
Yeah.
Shall I start the presentation? I made the full screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, all of you. So I am Dr. R. Saravanan from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Amrita School of Engineering, Coimbatore. Along with, I have few people who worked for this particular paper, which is about to get presented here. The title of the paper is Performance Enhancement of Photovoltaic System for Rural Electrification in Higher Altitude Region. This is a case study which is conducted in Uttarakhand, a village called Udalka, which is identified as a ghost village by our government. So we have taken few students, identified few students who like to work in a village environment to identify what the real problem, what they are facing. And we used to make a solution for that problem, and we used to make the solutions, how fast it can be get implemented in the village. In that, the students who worked along with us are Abhiruddha from Department of Electronic and Communication Engineering, Vijay from Chemical Engineering, Kailash from Mechanical Engineering, and Gokul Nitish from Mechanical Engineering. Myself, Dr. R. Saravanan, and one more people who's a assistant professor in Department of Computer Science Engineering, Dr. R. Arti, and Sauresh sir, who used to be the support for all the events that can be get conducted and do all the events that is going to be fruitful for the villages to come out with a beautiful solution. The introduction about our work here is the introduction about the village itself. So the greatest challenge in today's world is to satisfy the energy needs of a growing population in a sustainable way. Particularly in a sustainable way, how it can be get addressed. The second thing is that developing countries like India, the energy access is still a concern. According to the World Bank, where electricity services have been locally available, many villages household chooses not to adopt a connection because of their poverty level, and also due to the higher altitude locations of each and every houses in different places. This power connection makes it impossible for those houses which are located in a higher altitude. So connection costs are also high to make to provide the connections, electrical connections to that particular houses in a higher altitudes. That's why this particular problem has been taken. So one of two grids user face a power cut of at least 8 hours in that particular terrain. Whichever the houses they are having a power source, they are facing 8 hours of power cut. So we suggesting to have renewable energies as a promising and efficient alternate to explore the increasing rural electrification in the mode of remote parts of India, so that the people who are facing the problem of not having a power resource can be reduced. The study is in the village, which is a small village, which is identified as a ghost village, Udalka, named after a saint Udalka. So it's in the Uttarkashi district in Uttarakhand. So near to that, they are having a river Siguni runs just a few meters below the village, which is the tributary of the Ganges. Udalka is embedded in a mountain region with agricultural field located at the bottom of the village. Over the village, it is surrounded with a forest, thick forest. It is 6 kilometers from the Dunda range. Nearest town to the village is the Dunda, and it is having the basic facilities like school, primary, healthcare centers, market, and banks. So Udalka is having around 66 houses with a resident of 121 family, but all the people are not staying together. It is an isolated with different locations on the terrain region. The methodology that is adapted by the students are like making the villages to be a friendly nature with the people who over visited the particular village, get identify the problems from various people like children's, middle-aged kids, adolescent kids, elder people, and also people who are there and in different timings, because most of the people might go to a work, and after returning from work, our students used to go there and make the conduct the interview with them and make identify the problem. In that way, as a part of the Living Labs program, students are exposed to the real life condition in a rural, remote villages in the rural India. The group of students from multidisciplinary backgrounds are into the project team that already I have made an introduction in that about the student names and also the student departments. In that itself, we might able to understand the students and the faculties are from different domain, and we will sit there, we will sit and able to identify by discussing the problems of the villages, narrow down the area where the major problem can be get addressed. So there is a participatory observation. Field notes are taken during all participatory activities and informal discussion with the community. So the AEIOU framework was used to structure the observation around key areas and ensure nothing is missed out. So that's how we were able to identify few problems and narrow down to one particular problem. The people inputs were then processed using a human-centric design. So this is how the people will be called of different ages. They will be asked to make what are the things, how they want a better solution, and we may able to understand what is their basic needs, and we may able to address their problem, and the solution can be made with the better visibility from their own idea what they are giving us or what problems they are suggesting. If there is no solution, we may also find a solution
Excuse
where
me.
we put. So that is how we used to address the people and also the solution, and to identify a problem from there, whatever the suggestions that is being made, that is how the human centric design is planned, and we used to come to a problem. So then later we used to sit and make a qualitative analysis to identify where exactly these problems are and why this problem is there in the particular village, how we can address that. So based on the inputs what we received from the villages, we used to make it. That is how this electricity come to the picture of us. And because there are no kitchen and toilets with lights, people used to get prepare their foods, eat their foods before the sunset, or it's getting darker, and they used to sit in a darker area or in the darkness itself. Then no water heater, because of that no bathing in the cold climate, because the coldest climate which will be there is of -6 degrees in the winters. So that makes a health impact. Then use of the traditional methods means power going to be get supplied to the particular houses on the higher altitude is a remote, and it's a cost consuming process for the government. So they are not able to afford that particular facility. And the payment falls if they even if they are able to get the power source, the payment falls, the financial stresses were not in a position to get continue that particular electricity for their supply for their needs. No street lights are there. Even with the government, they are not provided any street lights in that particular village. That makes a big security question because it's in the just below the thick forest. So security is a question mark there. Late nights, the animals used to come. Even we also had witnessed that when we are staying in that particular village, because it is having a high cost and the frequent power cuts with their limited facility which is available in that particular village. So that there are no, that is the one where we people have identified this particular one, and analysis of income and expenditure showed that the average monthly electricity bill is around somewhat near to 400 rupees. So families are not able to get afford the heaters during the winters, which makes the major cost for the health issues. The same quantitative analysis, we went to the nearby powerhouse. So it is the idle average electricity requirement for a group of 4 houses were assessed from them, and the total requirement for 4 houses in a day is approximately 36 kilowatt per hour. So here the tabular column is going to give us some idea of how it can be get made with each house. So that is how we have come to this, and we were also able to see wherever the houses that are having power resource. So we have suggested them how, what are the things which are there, how it can be get minimized to make a light for all the house. Means one particular house, how many rooms are there? We have identified that in how many rooms, how many lights are there, how many fans are there. Based on that, this particular tabular column is being analyzed. So that is how LED lights, fans, television, water heater, if it is there, how much of power it will be get consumed, refrigerator, if it is there, how much power it will be get consumed. So that is how it is being calculated. So 36 kilowatts is being calculated from a particular house where they are having a power resource. Then checking with the secondary data, we people were able to bring in some solar panels, and we people are having a battery where it can be get charged, and we are planning how it can be get discharged, how fast it is getting discharged, how fast it is getting charged, what is the irradiance of that particular solar irradiance, that is the with the meteorological data that is available. So based on that, we people are able to come to a conclusion, and with the data that is being verified with the meteorological department. So that graph is also given here from Feb to January. So during the cold climates, the power production is low. During the summer, the power production is higher. So based on that particular data, we have arrived to a solution to provide that particular village for at least with the street lights, and also for the enough required light, at least one light per house. So that is how this particular project is being made to that. So the maximum solar radiance is available in May and in the minimum in the January. So the technical features. So here we were able to identify how the efficiency of that particular solar panel can be.
Hello, sir. Sorry for the interruption. We have only 2 minutes for the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. I'll finish the pen. This is the main thing. After that, I'll complete. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So the major technical feature here in the higher altitude regions, and particularly in a terrain region, only the solar energy can be get reflected to the panel only during when it is at the peak. So we were suggesting to make to a particular angle whenever the sun rises. If it is kept at a particular angle to the sun rays, it may get reflect. That is how this particular machine learning algorithm predict the sun direction, and the control system can help with the servo motor from the power that is being produced from the solar panel, and that data can be used, and the solar panel can change the angle from 30 to 0. Means 0 means it is flat during the peak time, and also it can tilt to the 30 degrees westward, so that sunrise and sunset it can make a efficiency better improvement in the efficiency up to 32%. It is studied, and this is how we have made the experiment. So there's advantages here is like we are able to make the reflectors from the efficiency improvement can be get eliminated, and the hybrid cooling system also may give some more efficiency to higher extent of some 35 degrees. So solar tracking is a cost effective and truly sustainable in the higher power generation, and it is also a cost effective method. So conclusion here is like the study aimed at better understanding the energy struggle in the rural India, particularly at the higher altitude regions. The hand exploration of the community helped to identify the solar energy as the most suitable and sustainable way. Cost is one of the main reasons why rural communities are reluctant to connect to the grid even when it is technically available, and exploring the different options of improving the performance of photovoltaic system. So ensuring the higher efficiency and an effective sun tracking system are also important. Solar photovoltaic technique reduce the cost of energy while increasing its efficiency. These are some of the references what we have made to identify with IOE systems and also with the villages about the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saravanan. Okay, yes, today's time is there of the renewable energy now. Everybody is looking at renewable energy as an future power. Okay. In your study, that when we are talking about the high altitude areas where the approach solar energy approach is quite high. Okay, so at those places, the performance of the solar panels or the solar systems must be very high compared to the lower regions or flat regions. So what was the experience, your experience about that?
Sir, we made our test during summer, rainy time, and also during winter season. And major constraint here, what we identify is during the winter season, because of the irradiance is going to be less. Because summer, the radiance is higher, so there is no problem. Only during winter, we are suggesting to have this particular angular thing so that it can improve the efficiency.
No, that I got it, Saravanan Saab. What I am asking you, that you have talked about high altitude regions. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, high altitude regions, you are saying na, that Uttarakhand study that you have conducted at a high altitude regions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am asking you, what is the difference between the solar energy generation at high altitude regions and the flat regions?
So
do you find any difference?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Certainly, sir. Because near the tropical region, the irradiance properties are low when compared to the higher altitude regions. That is why we are suggesting this particular solar energy system as a renewable energy which can be implemented in each and every houses in the village. Because of the irradiance is higher in the higher altitude regions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Saravanan.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So our next presenter is Didi Savani, and her paper title is Detection of Grocery Items in Store Using Deep Learning in Retail Business. I think she is absent, so can we move?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so can we move to closing remarks, sir?
Oh, somebody has uploaded the presentation.
Yes, but who's? Hello, Nidhi, are you here? Okay, then we conclude our session. Okay, sir, can we conclude our this session, right?
Yes, yes. Riddhi.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much to our presenter for their great presentation and their great contribution to this session. And we hope you will enjoy this this knowledgeable interactive session. So on behalf, we will happy all the presenter would be getting their digital certificates through the email within 2 or 3 working days. Further, all the all the papers already forwarded to the speaker. So please cooperate with the team of ICT4SD. I hope this session was informative enough to us. on behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and ICT4SD team, thank you so much to all our supporters to support in this conference and previous 6 conference. We happy to have you in 8th version of this conference in 2023. I also thank our session chair. For chairing the session. Thank you, sir, for your valuable presence in this session.
Thank you, Riddhi. Thank you so much. I thank all the participants also, and a range of topics has been presented here by the different presenters today in this session, ranging from deep learning to insurance and then virtual reality. So the range of topics discussed here in these sessions are very good, and I wish all the authors and the presenters the success in their research work. So thank you once again, Riddhi. With this, I think we can conclude the session now.